Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And today I brought with me two meditation books. I brought with me The Journey to the Heart, or Journey to the Heart by Melody Beatty, and I also brought with me Believing in Myself by Ernie Larson and Carol Hegarty, Daily Meditations for Healing and Building Self-Esteem. The reason I brought these two meditations was that I looked through all of the titles of the different meditation books today, and I read some for myself, and I just was like, okay, I want to kind of read some that are a little bit more positive today. The ones that I had read earlier were ones that I was really like, oh God, these are like deep ones, you know, and they were good for me. But I thought these specifically were a little bit more positive. For example, the one from Journey to the Heart is called Become Excited About Life. And I think sometimes, you know, it's really important to do this like deep dive into change and growth and all that we're working on. But I also think sometimes it's important for us to stay focused on the positivity of life, you know, and hope, having hope. I think hope is such a powerful emotion to feel inside and to never give up. There have been times in my life where I felt like, I don't know what the point is in taking one more step further, or I don't know why going on there's any reason, like this isn't going to get better, or, you know, like I can remember in times where I've gone through breakups or whatever, you know, in my life, or when I was like grieving the loss of my mom, I thought this is never going to get better. And the reality was, it did get better, you know, but I had to do the work. I had to put one foot in front of the other, and I had to push through the pain, and I had to, you know, reflect on myself and do evaluation and inventory and really take a look at my part in situations. And I really had to be willing to grow as a human being, because I knew that life was so much more to be experienced than just bad experiences, you know, like I really truly believe that. And I'm a believer in it's reflecting upon these things that happen in our lives and what we can learn from them and take from them and apply to our life as we go further. And I think that's the real lesson in life, you know. So that being said, I'm going to read from Journey to the Heart. Let's get into this. July 5th, Become Excited About Life. I woke up one morning and found myself in a strange place. Instead of waking up to pain, I felt a new feeling coursing through my veins. I felt happy, at peace, and excited about being alive. This feeling had come around before, but never to stay or last. Now I knew that it was mine for good. It was where this journey had led. Let excitement course through you. It is vitality. It is healing, life-giving energy. It is the life force. Feel it course through your veins. This excitement you are feeling is different from the pain of years past. It is a different feeling, but your birthright, my birthright, the birthright of us all. It is your reward for staying committed to your process of learning and growing. Continue to clear out old negative feelings and outdated beliefs. Stay committed to healing and discovering your soul, even when you wonder if it's worth it. Even when you wonder where your path is going, or if it's going anywhere. Love yourself. Love others. Then love yourself some more. Love yourself until you feel like feel the life force, this exciting new energy course through you. Stay committed to your growth process until you wake up one morning and ask yourself, what is that strange thing I'm feeling? Then know what the answer is. The answer is joy. I love this meditation so much because, like I said, there have been so many times in my life that, you know, just were like surrounded with darkness, and I just couldn't imagine going one step further or looking at what one step further would look like, and I didn't know, and I didn't feel like I had a lot of guidance, and I wasn't asking for guidance. I wasn't asking people that were surrounding me, my friends, my family, my support group. You know, I probably wasn't in counseling at that time, you know, and or many times I wasn't, you know, and didn't ask my sponsor, and I just felt like I can get through this on my own. I think, you know, many of us as humans, we see strength related to, I can do this on my own. When today, okay, at 50 years old, it's so weird saying that. It is so weird saying that. But today at 50 years old, I really recognize that strength comes in numbers, and strength also is about me asking for help from other people and dialing up the phone, you know, the 500-pound phone that's so hard for me to pick up sometimes and just say, I'm going through a really tough time. Will you help me? And, you know, letting somebody else in and being vulnerable enough to allow them to be willing to help me. Like, that's super, super powerful, right? And then also, I think, to recognize that good times are going to come down the road. I think we kind of tell ourselves this mantra over time that, oh, life sucks and life is just going to get worse and life is always bad. And, you know, it's like we go through these mantras or we go through these breakups or whatever, you know, and in our lives when we tell ourselves these mantras like all men suck kind of. Well, that's not true. That's not true. Not all men suck. There are good men out there. There are good women out there, you know? And that's just not the reality, but we get stuck on those mantras. I'm never dating again. I'm never going to put myself in a relationship again. I'm never going to do this again. I'm never going to do that again. And really what we're doing in those moments is we're setting up these boundaries and these fences to allow ourselves to explore and experience the best life that we possibly have. And so who misses out down the road? We do, by not continuing to do the work, to not do the work on why was it that situation or that experience so painful to us. Instead of sitting down and actually looking at that, what we just do is we just push it away and we say, nope, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to even deal with this whatsoever. And then we're the ones that ultimately pay the price for that. I know I have been in the past. You know, when I trust me, I've said those things. I've said all those things before. You know, I'm never dating again. All men suck. Screw this, whatever. Because the pain hurts so bad, right? That I don't want to experience that pain again. So my answer to that is a quick fix. Instead of saying, could it be different? Could I have enough hope to think that maybe on the other side, there might be better experiences down the road? There might be better people that I meet, or it might be different people that give me different experiences, you know? I might change and grow and become a different person. I think this idea of asking ourselves at times, like, am I the toxic one in a situation? Ever since I mentioned that in a video, I received a lot of messages from people saying, I don't know if I'm the toxic one. I think we know when we're the toxic one. I really do. I've been the toxic one at times. Didn't feel good. It didn't feel good inside. I felt like every day I woke up I was negative. I felt like I was really affecting the people around me. I found myself constantly wanting to say I am sorry, but feeling validated enough not to, if that makes sense. I felt entitled, like I'm not going to apologize for how I'm feeling. And so it's kind of this sense of entitlement that goes along with negativity, and then you realize that you're affecting people around you and people don't really want to be around you. And I think then you know I'm the toxic one. You don't want to be the toxic one. Nobody does. Because being the toxic one in any kind of relationship means that people aren't going to want to be around you, you know? So it's about doing the work. It's about growing and continuing to push through and work through the pain, you know? And when you get to the other side, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be like, the meditation suggested, like, what is that feeling that I have? Like, I'm happy today. I feel lighter than I did. I mean, like, physically you feel lighter, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, what is that? It's joy. It's joy from doing the work. But you can't just sit there and complain day in and day out about the misery of your life and accept that joy is going to show up to your doorstep. It's just not. You know, you have to do the work. You have to push through the pain. You have to take some responsibility for the experiences in your life. And even if you didn't have any kind of part in that, you have to take a look at that and say, okay, well, I didn't have a part in what happened to me, but what can I do with that now? You know, because I don't want to continue, like I've said in the past, to be held hostage to this situation that happened to me 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I don't want to do that. You know, in talking about bullying, I share this a lot. It's like, I think it's important for me to talk about being bullied and being aware of that because it did, I think, set a foundation for me in my life. But I don't want to be stuck as a victim of somebody that was bullied for the rest of my life. Like, I don't want, when I'm on my deathbed, to be talking about, oh my God, I was bullied. Like, I want to move through it. And I feel like in many ways I have, right? Knee slapping. In many ways I have. I also think that it's important to respect what I went through enough to say, this did affect the foundation of who I was. To lay the groundwork to know what I went through, but not to stay stuck in it as well, if that makes sense. So, all right, let's read this next meditation. So always look for joy, stay in hope, and work through the pain. Okay, July 5th from Believing in Myself. Time cools, time clarifies. No mood can be maintained quite unaltered through the course of hours. Thomas Mann. The search for serenity does not lead us to a state of full-time bliss. The idea that we should never have a bad day is another of our unrealistic expectations. No one, no matter how hard they're working the program, has a good day every day. Who knows what the trigger is? Maybe it's gloomy weather or hormones or a skipped breakfast. But the fact is that we all feel down sometimes. Emotional stability is an important component of self-esteem. Wild mood swings and chronic crankiness are symptoms of deeper disorders that need attention. Often, deeply buried anger is the wellspring of the attitudinal misery that is bubbling up. Work with a counselor or support group can usually relieve such unhappy long-term conditions. But for the ordinary ups and downs of life, good old-fashioned acceptance is the best remedy we've got. Even people with naturally cheerful dispositions and even tempers get up on the wrong side of the bed once in a while. While we strive for emotional balance, we need to remember that stable and static aren't the same thing. Our goal is as an acceptable, comfortable range. The upside is that bad days are just as fleeting as good days. Well, I have maintained for a long time this idea of, the bitter and the sweet. And I've talked about this on here before, and I have this whole story that I was walking through this casino floor with my friend, and we were talking about, like, you don't really know the sweet without the bitter, and so life has to have bits and pieces of both of it. Like, if every day that we woke up was absolute bliss and happiness, like this meditation, references, like, we wouldn't know to be happy ever. Like, we wouldn't know what that meant, right? So if every day was a 10, and there was only 10 out of 10, I mean, there was no 1 through 9 on our scale, how would we even know to gauge that? How would we know? And ultimately, over time, what would happen is the 10, we would, like, develop this scale because we would start looking for things to be unhappy about or to be happier about or whatever it's like. But if we lived every day with total bliss, right? So there have to be some days that aren't as great as others. And that's okay. There are going to be days that I'm angry. There are going to be days that I am sad. There are going to be days that I have, like, lost hope, like I was talking about. But as long as I get back on, the train of life, and I, like, say, okay, I'm going to be happy. And today, this is where I say in my vlog every single night, you can start your day over whenever you want. You literally can start your day over. You can sit down and you can say, okay, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I've been snapping at people all day long. I'm angry. I'm not happy today. What is going on with me? Call a support person. When I say a support person, that can just be a friend. You don't have to be in a 12-step program, And call that support person and say, just as a friend, and say, I'm going through something today. I don't know what I am going through. And they'll say, well, what's going on, And you'll say, well, I woke up and I was angry and I was irritable and whatever, and I don't want to be this way. And then you just say, okay, I'm going to allow myself to have 5 or 10 minutes of being angry and writing this out, because writing it out is real powerful to me. And then I'm going to be done with this. And then I'm going to move on and I'm going to get away from this, and I'm not going to feel this way anymore. I'm not going to waste precious time of my life by allowing myself to just fester in this anger. It is so, so, so unhealthy to just fester in anger for hours upon hours, days upon days. And yet I know people in my life that, my mom did this for much of her life, where they just stay stuck in this, like, anger and hostility and misery and pain, and yet they don't do anything to move away from there, and they're losing out on life. Don't lose out on life. This is it. This is the one chance we got. Make the most of it, Make the most of it. Choose happiness. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.